Hi, Nadya. How are you? Welcome to the podcast. I'm so honored to have you on the podcast today. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm fine. I'm happy to see smiling people, happy people, people who live in their life. It's happiness to live a normal life. So I'm glad for you.
Oh gosh, I mean, yeah, I know, and the fact that you look the way that you look and your spirits are still in a really lovely, inviting place for everything that you are going through with the war raging in Ukraine. Just for listeners tuning in, Nadya is an incredibly special guest. For those of you that tune in, I have done several series now on the war in Ukraine, and I have so many friends and colleagues. I grew up going to Ukraine myself for competition for acrobatic gymnastics. My coaches were from Ukraine, and I have so many colleagues from Circus for the last 20 years that live and that work and are from Ukraine. And so this is very personal to me, and that's why I want to continue to have dialogues with fascinating people like you, Nadya. And you are incredibly unique because everything that you are doing as a volunteer, Nadya, you've been doing since 2014. For those tuning in, I consistently remind them that the war didn't just start this year, that there has been ongoing war since 2004, and that Ukraine's been in and out of martial law for that amount of time, and that things have been very difficult since then. And so this isn't new. This was like a culmination of things, but starting with Crimea, now we have Donbass, we have all of these different things that have come together and created this very, very, very unjust war that shouldn't be happening and that is truly heartbreaking. And so, Nadia, you have had an amazing career. You are an Olympic gymnast. You were a very highly competitive gymnast. And so we come from the same world, and then you transitioned into circus. But I won't take up so much of describing who you are. If you could, Nadia, please tell listeners a little bit about your background and about your accomplishments and how you ended up where you are now, which is this incredible volunteer on the ground in Ukraine, fighting for your country and for your people.
Well, first of all, thank you for your understanding of the situation in Ukraine, and thank you for that you taking your time for getting inside our world and sharing with the others. As I told you before, it's really, really important for us because we live in like in different worlds in a different part of the world, and when such people like you and other your colleagues, journalists, like spreading this information, the correct information, it's extremely important because the world looking for us like the reality show, you know? For the rest of the world, it's the reality show. Are they gonna survive or not? Okay, we were gonna give them weapon. Oh, how are they gonna work with that? Oh, good, cool. Let's choose something more like a game, you know, the computer game. But it's not. It's the lives of people like me, like the rest of the people, basically like the rest of the people in the whole world, because we don't know how the situation will go forward or not. So thank you for your job. And about me, yes, this year I will celebrate 30 years of my sport career. I started sport at 3, and this year, yes, I'm gonna be 33. So of course, at the age of 3, I didn't understand a lot, but I was in a gym. I was already doing something, and at 11, I get to national team of Ukraine in rhythmic gymnastics. And then at the age of 13, I went to European Championships. I got to the finale, and we won the I don't know how to say that. The possibility to make the first one European Championships in Ukraine, because Ukraine did a good performance in Germany, so we were nominated to bring European Championships to Ukraine. So I was at the age of 13, like super honored, like cool. So I did perform a lot in rhythmic gymnastic World Cups and European Championships and World Championships, and I have gold and silver in worldwide universiade and Europe and Grand Prix difference. So I was an Olympic team a lot of time, and it's an honor to represent your flag all over the world, because right now everybody in the world pretty much knows about Ukraine, everybody. So when I was little, I wanted to do that, not just because of the war or any other things, but just about our athletes like Andrei Shevchenko. He was playing in Milan and a lot of different world best clubs. Klitschko, Vladimir and Vitaly, and Vladimir and Vitaly right now in Kiev, and Vitaly is the mayor of Kiev. He's a good guy. Just a week ago, I was visiting in the his office, just like as I'm a radio host, and my radio is located in Kiev, and we work for Kiev government. So we're meeting sometimes, talking. So my wish was to, by my job, to let the world know about Ukraine. Of course, I'm little one person, but anyways, every person doing something, and this what is he's doing and is making better for your country, and then you can live in this country as good as you want it to. Because I hear a lot of people saying that, well, my country didn't give me anything. And I'm like, okay, what you gave to your country? It's very important to be together in a job, not just like you were born in like country. Okay, this is a super good job for you, and here is the apartment, and here is the mansion in in the forest for you. Everything is for you. No, it doesn't work like that. It's just in the miracles. So when I quit Olympic team, I went to Cirque du Soleil. I spent some time there, and then I decided to build my career not with the circus, because it's difficult to be unique in a circus. You just want the part of the huge company. So thanks God, I did perform in Europe. I did present my shows in France, in Las Vegas. What I really wanted to do that. One of my dreams came true when I did present my show in Las Vegas in Sunset Strip Hotel. The next day, I went to the show of David Copperfield, and it was a funny story because me and my friend, we went to his show, and I said, "Oh, I know David. Like, we are friends." And I did tell it to my friend. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, of course. So we did came to the show. We did took the table, sit down, and then during the show, you know what happened? David Copperfield came to me with the hand like this, shake my arm, like said hi, and I was like, hi. Was like, yeah, like what's going on? And I'm like, I did tell you, come on, dude. And he was like, Jesus Christ. Actually, I was shocked. I was like shaking his arm, and like, oh my gosh. You know, I was watching on a TV, on an old TV, and this square big box, like 20 or 5 years ago, David Copperfield, like he was disappearing somewhere, yes, on in New York, on this monument, and then he was like straight in front of me, and I'm like, okay, he detached my arm. So,
This is real. This
um,
really happened.
can you imagine? My joke became real.
No.
Yeah. So after like I did perform in with my shows, and I lived in America. I lived in Chicago. I lived in Tennessee, and I'm very matured and happy about that. But we're gonna talk about it later because it's already war started. And before quarantine, before COVID, since 2017. our president Zelensky, he has the company Kvartal Concert. They were doing movies, different production, shows, and I came to his company and said, "Let's guys make a dinner show." The first dinner show in Ukraine, because in Ukraine it was not so much popular like in America, in Europe. And I came to them and I said, "Let's guys make a show. It's gonna be the dinner show for 3 or 4 hours. People gonna eat and watch the show and listen to the music." And they said, like, "Okay, how much money do you need?" I said, like, "Okay,
Wow.
let's work on that." Yeah. So we have the concert hall named Freedom. So we did a show there, dinner show, Hotel Freedom. We built a beautiful stage. We made from the stage like a hotel with a bar, reception, different rooms, and it was amazing. It was really beautiful. Like around more than 50 or 60 people were working on the show. On stage, it was around 40 people, and guys in a restaurant, they serve the dishes. What's the name of that?
The waiters.
The waiters. Yeah, the waiters were also dancing with the food. They
That
hated
was
me, actually. They hated me, but
Wow.
they were like, "Okay, what should I do? How
Well,
should I
yeah.
dance?" But it was beautiful.
Like
In
the
the end of the show, and the end of the show, they were happy for the tips and everything. But basically, they're like, "Never, never more."
that
So
one.
for several, yeah. So for several years, we did this show until Zelensky decided to become a president.
Of course, because that's what you do. You decide to become the president of your
Yes,
country, and then you win.
and yeah, and you remember how he became a president, yes or not?
His story is remarkable. I mean, I was following the election because I was working in a show at the time. I was also dating somebody at the time, and who's Ukrainian, and so I was very supportive of them voting for him. So I was very involved at that time. It was a big deal, like understanding where he came from and what he was about. I mean, it was completely wild. And what's interesting is that he was the better version of what we had here in America, because we had something similar, but not such in a great way. Of someone who came from TV, who was a celebrity. But I feel like Ukraine got the best version of what that could be. America, unfortunately, not so much with our celebrity who turned into the president. But with you, with
Who
Ukraine,
knows? Maybe.
it was special.
Yeah, he made a movie about him as a president. Did you
Yes,
see that movie? No.
I didn't see the full movie, but I know of it.
Yeah, so he made a movie, really funny, good movie about the reality of what's going on in Ukraine. And then he is like, "Okay, let's go into the elections." And when we did the show, my show, dinner show, Hotel Freedom, we were like, I was like hearing something like, "Okay, what's going on?" Like, wait, he's going to elections? Like, wait, seriously? But we didn't like was sure about that. We're like, okay, maybe not. Okay, let's continue our job. And then like we were told like, oh my gosh, someone's line. And we were told like, sorry guys, we need to change the plans because Zelensky is gonna be has any other plans. And we're like, oops.
Wow.
It's the reality.
Your boss is now the
So
president of your country from one day
yeah,
to the next.
fantastic.
How wild. I can
Yeah,
imagine.
crazy. I'm telling you, it's everything what's going on like in the movie. Sometimes in a horror movie, but like yeah, in a positive way, it's like a good
Yeah.
movie too.
Yeah. Up until this point, obviously, it was more of the positive movie. But I mean, positive also too in terms of, I would say, of the approach. And I would love to get your perspective on that, Nadia. Are you happy with the way that the government is handling the situation? How the Ukrainian government is handling everything, and if you feel like obviously that it's uh, being held, being taken care of honorably, and that they're doing the will of the people in that way. Because you can speak on that better than anybody else can. I have my opinions, and we all have our outside influences from being outside of the country. But your opinion on that is so important.
Well, yeah, thanks. Basically, the whole country, 80% of Ukrainians support president. 80%,
Hmm.
like, or even more. So it's super cool.
Hmm.
Basically, what the government and the president do, yes, we agree with that. There are a lot of details inside which we are not agree. But again, sometimes in a little company, like any company, you have the main manager and the people who work in this company, and you try to deal with everybody, and sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah, sometimes someone is falling apart and you're taking another people and everything. But big country, we have 40 million people. And it's a big country, the biggest in Europe, Ukraine, yes.
Hmm.
And war and all these emotions, all this drama, and all people who are against Ukraine are inside Ukraine. So
Mm.
they trying from inside to break everything what we're doing. So all
Mm.
these things, they are very, very difficult, because some people, like our troops, like our soldiers, like our volunteers, giving everything to make the country win this war.
Mhm.
But from another side, you can find out some other people
Mhm.
who are absolutely different, who are supporting Russia, and we even didn't know about that. We saw that when the war started. And you just, in my head is just blowing out, because I can understand how can you, during these horrible things which are happening, and you can support Russia. Oh
Mm.
my gosh, who the hell are you? Like, and these things, we, before that, Zelensky and his company, they, his team, they did not really were so hard, so rude to these people. But he had to be more, he had to change his idea about be friends with Russia and be friends with all who are against Ukraine. No, it should be like cut it and throw it away. No, no options to be Russian TV, Russian radio stations, Russian newspapers, Russian people in Ukraine. This is it. 8 years of war. It could not be like that. When the war was coming closer and closer, Zelensky and his team closed pro-Russian TV channels,
Mhm.
and they were like angry about like why you did that. We want to live in a free country, so you want to live in a free country and let in Russia to get inside in Ukraine, then kill people? Like this is freedom for you? You
Mm.
really? So I think we and our government, we did a mistake that in 2014 we had to block everything what goes common with Russia, everything,
Mm.
like everything. And when I was telling that to people, like we have to break any connections. Yes, of course, we have relatives in Russia. Yes, we have friends. Yes, we have business. But it was our horrible mistake. Right now, we are paying with the people's lives, with the people's treasury for that mistakes. But again, at that point, we couldn't even understood that Russia can attack Ukraine that way. Nobody could understand that.
Mhm.
For 8 years, but actually, one thing was for sure. My friends, my soldiers, they were telling me that the war will be finished
Mhm.
when the big war will start. When it's going to be a big war, like right now,
Mhm.
just after that, the war will be over. And I was like, no, guys, like, no, no, I can't believe that. But they were like, we're soldiers, we're professionals, we know what we're talking about.
Mm.
Why government was not that much ready for the war? I don't know. We were ready.
Mhm.
We were ready, but not to such a big one.
Mhm.
Like we did have good weapons. Our troops were ready. They were like matured, and we people did support country and everything. But no one did really understood that it could be so big,
Mhm.
so big.
Mhm.
Like, even I would tell you, like, even with the support of America, Canada, Europe, with all these billions of dollars which we're receiving, attention, it's not enough, because every day the war is so much expensive, so much expensive. Jesus Christ, every shot of a big weapon from, I don't know, from better or something, or a protection system, air protection system, it's extremely expensive. So I don't know. I think nobody can be ready for war. Nobody. Not America, not China, not Canada, nobody.
Yeah. And just to remind listeners out there, America, we just approved another $40 billion to go to Ukraine. I think it was approved today, actually. And we know that war just devastates lives, it devastates everything. And war, like you're saying, is expensive, and there's so many different interests involved as well, which is makes things even more complicated. I think because the only people that lose are the people in a situation of war. Nadia, how do you feel about the responses of all of the neighboring countries in and around Ukraine? We have also too now so many countries that are trying to join NATO, for example. We have the neighboring countries of Poland, of Hungary, of Moldova. How do you feel that their response has been? How do you feel that NATO's response has been to this situation happening in your country, and the assistance on the ground? Because you are a volunteer, you are seeing the day to day, and you are receiving the supplies, for example, you're receiving the support and the care in real time that you're helping to distribute and take care of. So, what does that look like in the day to day, in real time, when you are assisting and being a volunteer with the people? And are you satisfied with that? And has it been handled in that way very well? And what can you give us, like, insight into the situations connected to the border, connected to those having to leave Ukraine, and then obviously those still in Kiev, and still trying to live every single day, have a life of some sort, while all of this is happening, all of this chaos is happening around you, around all of you.
Well, about the countries who support Ukraine, we really appreciate that, because we see that the whole world stood up for Ukraine. And I think it's because it's a normal world and people understand that we cannot live any other way. It's like one of the reasons why we didn't believe in a big war, because we thought like we are already, the whole world is living in another world. It's like 1931. It's not that. It's not the past, it's a future. It's a beautiful future when you can be a tourist and fly to cosmos, when you using 5G, traveling somewhere nowhere and watching movies in your vehicles, when your vehicle is parking by yourself. So it's another world. But no, no, someone is like choosing another thing. So this is one of the reasons why world is supporting Ukraine, because it's so crazy. I don't know. It's like this is the edge. This is the edge of the world. This is it. The end is gonna be the, I don't know, the catastrophe for the whole world. So the world, the European partners, Canada, America, they do understand that. That's why they support. One reason. Another reason, they really understand that they are scared that Russia gonna move forward. So let's Ukraine fight out for everybody. And it sounds horrible, but we are fighting for our country, we are fighting for our people. I'm fighting for myself, for my people, for my troops, for my home, for my trees, for my everything. Because it's not normal. Like, if we're not going to stop it right now, it's going to be everywhere in Europe, in America, in Canada. It's not going to stop. Like, this is it. Stop, please. Oh, okay, stop. Okay, I'm a terrorist. You don't want me to fight? Okay, I'm not gonna. No, you with a terrorist, you have to talk with just with the power. So we are doing that, and thanks to again to support, we're doing it good. But let's go back to 2014 when Crimea was annexed. I remember myself, I was standing on Krещатик, on Maidan. Maidan Незалежності, a very famous street where all revolutions were going. And it was a big screen there. And it was in use like attention, emergency, Russian troops get with the tanks inside the city of Yalta and on Simferopol, everywhere. And we were like wait, no. And I remember my heart was just I was like, oh my gosh, I even stopped breathing. I was like, no, no, like, whoa, no, like, what's going on? I was like looking at the people, and people were like standing like this. Nobody could believe that. We were so much shocked. Oh my gosh. I think at that point I got gray hair on my head because it was like so horrible. And at that point, what did the world? Nothing. The world was like, oh, we are concerned. We're so much concerned. What do you mean you concerned? When started Donetsk, it was the catastrophe with the airport in Donetsk airport. It was so much horrible things where people, oh my gosh, like, and the world was like, we concerned. Were you concerned? You can be concerned when you, I don't know, when you lose something, it's dropped and it's get broken. Like, oh, I'm concerned. I broke my phone. I'm concerned about it. Okay, I'm gonna go buy a new one. You can be concerned about this, but not about this catastrophe. So the world made a huge mistake about that. We were trying as hard as we could to show the world the reality. Like, not it's not just about Ukraine, it's just about basically the world. And you were asking about NATO. Zelensky was very, very right. He said, like, if NATO is not working the way it has to be worked, like it was written in the documents in the papers of NATO, like how it should be worked with the other countries. So this is it. Make a new NATO, make something new, because NATO doesn't protect not us, not us, because it's so hard to talk for me about all these things from this side, but in NATO declaration there is information about that they had to help and protect us in case of. So right now this is in case of. What NATO do? Okay, let's take a look how Ukrainians are fighting with fucking, I'm sorry, Russia, where they have much, much more people. Like, oh my gosh. So I don't understand that. It's this support. We are happy. We are really happy, and we really appreciate of Russia of American support against Russia. But they had to start it to do when the war started, 24th February. At that day, it should be Lend-Lease right away. Like, this is it, guys. They were waiting until they attacked Kiev. They were waiting like 3 days. Okay, okay, like popcorn, drinking, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. You really kidding me, guys? No, come on. So this support we appreciate, but it came to such a horrible long way with such a horrible drama. Oh, no, that's like, so we are very happy about Poland. They really do a lot, super a lot. And I do understand they also super scared. And some Finland already did the, I don't know how to say it in English, bunker, where you can hide the lower floor.
Mm-hmm. Bunker.
What's the name of that?
Bunker. Like what you said.
But it's the same. Yes. Okay. Yeah, and they were like Finland. I remember they were showing like in bunker we have everything. We have space for children. We have gym. We have parking place. We have chill zone. These and that and that. Take a look at our people. We were fucking dying there. No food, no water, no electricity. It was super cold. It was like, oh my gosh, it was a horror movie. And they like, we have a spar, like not spar, but like a gym there. You don't need gym when you have a war. It's not about that. You don't need a gym. I'm happy that you have in a bunker a gym, but actually, it's not about that war. It's like in the movie when people are on war, they're like just sitting like this, pale, with gray hair, shaking like this, and thinking about if you can go out or not. This is the war. This is the reality, and they're thinking about themselves, and it's very good. But we paid the price for Finland, America, Poland, France, and everybody to understand what the war is. So it's a horrible price, and I don't know how to compare the price we paid and what we have to get as a feedback. I don't know. I'm sorry for emotions, but this is such a horrible catastrophe we're going through. I'm sitting in a place right now. This is my a house in a suburb of Kiev. So I usually live in downtown, very close to the office of president. But I also have the suburb. I will show you later. So and I could not get back here for 2 months because rockets were flying above my house, and this is the place where I can't say a lot about the place where I'm living at. It's a kind of secret place, but was very dangerous, and it's still dangerous here because it's some special places
Yes.
which could be attacked. I hope not, but still they are like the main places. Everything can be attacked, but this is like one of them.
How is your family? Is your family, and I know that you'll speak to as much as you can, obviously, Nadia, with respect to privacy, because I know that's very important, obviously. So, how is your family? Is your family still in Ukraine, or has your family had to leave? Are they in a region that's still fairly, I know we say safe in quotations because we know it changes every single day and it changes sometimes every single hour, actually. I know different friends and colleagues in almost every region of Ukraine. So I know that it's very sensitive, obviously, and some that are still there, and obviously some that have left because they couldn't stay any longer. But is your family still in the country, or have you had to make arrangements for them to leave?
Well, no, we are in the country, everybody, and me and my mom, we were volunteer. My mom always trying to help me to volunteer in my social work, and my dad is here. Everybody here. We decided that we're not gonna go anywhere. First of all, my dad he's a man. He's not allowed to leave the country. Even he's older, the age, but anyways, he said, "No, I'm gonna stay here. Maybe country will need me or to protect somebody to help." So we decided to stay. And the fun not the funny thing, but when the war started, actually I missed everything, but because I sleep in berushi, I don't know how to say that when you put in
Earplugs.
your ear.
Mhm.
Huh?
Earplugs.
Earplugs. Okay, yeah. And I don't like noise, like any noise, any sound. So I just earplugs. But and then I don't know why. And at 5 p.m. I woke up and I decided to take a look at the phone. And then one of my super closest person in my life, I received the calls from him, and I called him back. He's a soldier, a very high level guy, and he said like, "Nadia, leave the city." And I'm living very close to the president office. And as you remember, their plan was to attack the office and to remove Ukrainian government.
Right.
And not far away from me, from my apartment, I can see the railway station. And I remember the sirens, and I saw like, and I was standing and I looking at the railway station, and I saw how many people were going there, and just leaving city. And I was standing, and I was like, okay, stop, everything's fine. I'm staying here. I have a job. I'm a journalist. I have to tell people what to do. I have to become, okay, this is it. I'm here. I'm fine. I have to do my job. And I was so calm. I was like, not relaxed, but I was like, okay, this is it. We have what we have. No panic right now. Then one of my friends, soldiers, also came to me, and he said, okay, Nadia, pack your stuff, pack several bags, put it in your car, and let it be there. Take your bulletproof jacket, take your helmet, everything, let it be with you. You have protection, which you have. This is it. You have it. You're ready. You have a gas. Everything is fine. So now you can work, but when I will call you and I will tell you, Nadia, leave the city, emergency, you will do that. I said, okay. Of course I did that. Of course I stayed. But I said, yes, sir. No problem. So me and my mom, we were volunteering, and my dad, he the person who created the first radio stations in Ukraine, together with American, yeah, together with Albert Klein. He was American producer and radio maker. So my dad was doing some media things, and me and my mom, we were volunteering. So actually, we had second birthday, me and my mom, because one of the gyms and the TV tower was attacked with a rocket. And my parents' apartment, not far away from there. And I was sitting in the vehicle. My mom was in the apartment, and I've heard sirens, and then some crashed something. And I called my mom and said, "Okay, we have to leave." And she get into the car. We went across through the big road, and from one side was the TV tower, and from another the gym where I started my career actually. And we just passed it, and the rocket crashed behind our heads. So, and when we get to my apartment, everybody was like, "Oh, you're alive?" We're like, "Yes." And they're like, "Did you see the rocket?" But we were so fast, and we were so, and with the music, we're like, "Oh, come on, come on."
Oh my God. It's unbelievable. You outran a rocket. Wow.
Yeah, 3 times.
Oh my
This
God.
it's just the first time.
Oh my
The
God.
second time was troops, soldiers helped me to do my volunteer job. And I really appreciate it because they spend their time, the energy to be with me, to protect me, to help me. Because when you are volunteer in war, it's not that much easy. It's not the volunteer when you go into the shelter, or when you support the old people or something like that. You sit in a store bringing some food, reading books. No, it's not about that. It's always about something shooting about you above your head. You hiding somewhere. You crying. You scared. You like. It's like it's not. I don't know even how to explain it. It's not that much easy. So one day we were going. We have a curfew. We had a curfew from 5 p.m. till 9 a.m. in the morning. And at that days, it was police were so hard. They were, if you go out, it's like 5 p.m. and 1 minute, and you are on the street. Police like appears from nowhere, and it's this is police, not just the usual police. It's the military police with the guns. They like you like hands up, and no matter who you are, if you're a mayor or no matter who you are, hands up, and you go to the building. It was very scary because at that point, mm, and they were how to say that, cleaning the city from Russian Russian terrorists which were in the city in Kiev. So the curfews was for several days. Like for several days, you were not allowed to go out from your building. If you have a puppy, you can stand in front of the building with a puppy, like peeing almost on the door of your building, because it's not allowed. You could be killed. So it was like if you are going out, the police is allowed to kill you. That's it. It's war. No jokes. This is it. And I do understand them. They were protecting us. So those days were very, very difficult. And then one day I was going with the soldiers. We were doing some volunteer job. And you like in the helmets, in the bulletproof jackets, and it's dark. And the city is like absolutely dark. No people. Just it was just the military, police, volunteers, and some people who are sitting in their apartments. And there is no light in the city. You have to understand. You just driving, you just cannot see where you're driving, and everywhere there is a block post where you just have to stop, and police is checking who you are, and you have to drive slow because again there is no light, and all this block post. Block post. It means when you understand what I mean? How
Yes.
to say that in English?
Yes. Yes. The blog post. I understand.
It's the same, yes? Okay. So they built from these big, I don't know, big, heavy things which they used to build the buildings and everything. And you sometimes you don't see them. You just stop your vehicle and you have to be very, very attentive, like hands up, light in your vehicle, not moving, not shaking, not doing anything, just sitting like this. They check you, and then you just can drive. So we did finish our volunteer job. Already started the curfew, and we with the soldiers were driving. They were driving me back to my home, and they started the sirens, and then something crashed so hard, and I was just even it just shake me out like really very hard, and the rocket, the part of the rockets get like 50 meters from me. It's like less two times less than the mile from me. It was so loud and so scared. They were trying to get to the railway station, and railway station is very close to me, you know. And my mom, they and my dad, they were staying in my apartment on the 22nd floor. They saw this rocket get in, and she started to cry because it's horrible to see that, really horrible. So it was the second time. The third time, I have my radio is located to one of the factories fabrics, big one fabrics, and they two times they were trying to get that fabrics, and I did my live show on the radio, and I left the radio, and in several hours the rocket crashed like the next building from my radio. So, and one journalist passed away. She was killed by this rocket because the rocket gets straight into her apartment, just straight into her apartment. And she was having a dinner or something.
I'm
So,
so sorry.
in our building, was just windows destroyed, nothing special. But
It's
I don't
terrible.
know.
It's terrible
Yeah.
that she lost her life. It must be
Can you
so
imagine? It's
scary.
like I'm telling you all of this, and I'm still really can't believe that I'm telling you all these things. I'm just even don't understand. Like, it's
Hmm.
like,
And
what was that?
the trauma and the shock of everything. And I also want to let listeners know, Nadia, you're volunteering and you're doing so many things, but you're also performing for the military. You're doing these beautiful performances for them as gifts to them. I mean, even in the midst of everything that you're doing, you're dodging rockets, you're driving, not being able to see, you can barely leave your apartment, you're under this threat, and even still you're spreading beauty through your performance, you're sharing your abilities, you're sharing your circus skills, just again to bring in the audience here who is, very circus based, very gymnastics based too, and reminding them that you're still bringing light to the situation, which I still can't imagine trying to do that and being that type of light for everyone that is fighting for Ukraine, how you're still managing to get through a performance and not be so incredibly overwhelmed emotionally. I can only imagine how emotional you are when you are performing. But for those that are listening, please go to Nadya's Instagram and you can see her beautiful performance that she recently did for the Ukrainian military, that she is serving in so many different ways. And again, uniquely so as an artist and as a beautiful performer. It was really, really amazing. But I just also too, Nadia, how are you managing all of these different emotions that are coming up, the trauma and the stress? How are you taking care of yourself and with your family? I mean, obviously, I know there's a lot of tears and there's a lot of sleepless nights. And how are you managing that to stay so centered? I know you're like in the thick of it and you're focused, and you know what you're about. And that's so empowering and so inspiring. And I keep on reminding people, like when people, this is the real life, like what you're saying. This isn't a movie. This isn't, several years ago. This is 2022. You're in a modern woman, young circus artist, journalist, performer, Olympian, and you are in a very unjust war and in the middle of a war zone. And how are you processing your emotions? And are you even able to really process them? Do you think that it'll be something that you process, in the future? Because there's not really any time for you to process any of this right now. You're just kind of like living it.
Well, one of the things which I'm really concerned that I did not do more before war as I could as a athlete, journalist, wherever, because the more you represent yourself, the more you work on yourself, the more people knows you, the more support you have and everything. Because I see and I do understand that a lot of people like yourself, they get to know me from somewhere, and I have a lot of support from friends and here and American media. And I thought, like, if I had even more and more, if I would do shows like 5 times per day or something more. Of course, you always want more. So that's good that I have this possibility, and thanks you again. Um, as long as I have things to do, no matter which things they are, I feel okay. I really feel okay. Yes, I can tell you, for the first month of war, I even didn't cry, no tears. For 1 month, I was like working, 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 working. I was just, I didn't have time for that. And I saw people crying and they were so nervous. I was nervous and you could see it on me. My mom was looking at me and she said, Nadia, please eat something. You look bad. I was very thin. I was very, I looked sick, because when the war started, as I told you before, I said, I'm going to work. This is it. I'm working. And from that day, for like 7 or 10 days, I almost didn't sleep. I really did not sleep. Like for 2 hours, you could have like 2 hours or something. I did not eat at all. I get very thin. I get gray hair. I never colored my hair. Now I did that because I became gray. Can you imagine? My mom looked at me and she said, like, Nadia, you like performing on TV, you're like a public person, or even like for normal life, you have gray hair everywhere. And I was like, okay, like I even because for the first week it was like this, like,
Instant.
and yeah, I was like, okay, but that days I was so much matured, like everybody in the country,
Mhm.
and I was working with the government people. Like it was normal, like to call in 4 a.m. and say, "Hello, I need this and this and this emergency." Okay, I need this and this to the front line over there, over there. Okay, we're gonna do it. Like people were working, like no sleeping, no eating. Like even if someone will fall asleep, like, hey, come on, you sleeping? Come on, dude, not sleeping. Come on, we have to work. Like, okay. So, and what was good that the government of Kiev, they were like every time when I texted the messages to the first people in government of Kiev, they were like online over every time. Like, Nadia, you need something? Okay, we're gonna help with this, with that. Okay, we're gonna do this and that. And there is nothing we in Ukraine, we don't have anymore, not everywhere, but basically government and people are like the same.
Mm.
Like government is not like something like a star. No,
Mhm.
you're a manager and you
Mhm.
have to work, and I will support you if you will work good. So there is, but basically it's like not like it's to compare with Russia, no. So the first days were extremely horrible, and but emotionally we were matured. Like we have even the phrase like Kiev given a punch, because our mayor, he's a boxer,
Yes.
and the Russian terrorists were trying to attack Kiev and take our government, and we're like Kiev given a punch. So and we did that punch. Um, Again, thanks to Bucha, Irpin, Gostomel, just thanks to these cities and soldiers. So until you work, you're okay. Of course, right now for me it's very very difficult because all my friends, all guys went to the front lines, to Donetsk area, Kharkov, and all these areas. And I'm here pretty much alone. I have my parents, I have people I worked with, but I pretty much don't have job like everybody. I do my radio show. I do some stuff in the university, but three more jobs. I had five jobs. Now I have two, and I feel much. I think I have two jobs. So three performing TV shows, which I had, a private business, which I did with the teaching kids and everything out. So I pretty much don't earn money or something like the biggest part of the people in Ukraine. But you have to do something all the time to do. Then you are okay. At the point when you stop, this is it. You start to watch news, you know. Oh my gosh. No, never. Just go and work. This will save you. And by the way, you can congratulate me because for 8 years of my volunteer job, I didn't want to register my foundation on my volunteer job because what I did, people like knows me and people support me. Even those people who I don't know, I have a lot of people in Ukraine who knows me and support. So we just donated me money and just like, "Nah, do whatever you want to do. We trust you," and I was happy. I did not make any foundations or something. I did not need that. But when the big war started, my friends and I buy a lot of things because people donated me money, and I buy a lot of things, vehicles, expensive for night vision things, and like a lot of things, and bicycles. And I put everything on my name, so I have to register it on some foundation, not just on my name, because it seems like I'm buying it to me. Because guys can't make any other registration because you give it to the front line and they're not going to do any paperwork there. It's not possible there. So some things are on me, and I'm telling them, guys, come on, do something. Just take this car with the papers on you, so I'm free. So I did the foundation, and right now it's gonna be easier, and it's names Hope for Good. So it's Hope for Good, Nadia. On Ukrainian, on English, it's Hope. So Hope for Good, Nadya na Dobro. This is my foundation officially right now. I'm finishing my website, and so I have official my foundation.
You're so amazing. Congratulations, Nadia. And
Thank you.
we will put that in the bio, in the notes of this episode. I'll send, put everything there so that we can continue to support you, so that the network at large for the podcast can support you, and also too on Circus Talk. And Nadia, just to wind down from the interview, we're getting to the close, and I wanted to focus the last just few minutes on asking you about your thoughts just moving forward, also about your t-shirt that you're wearing. If you could describe it for those that are just listening and that cannot see you, because this is a very important detail. We were speaking about this before we came onto the recording, and Nadia wants to share why she's wearing this t-shirt, what it means, and then also to Nadia, just your last thoughts moving forward and how we can support you. You just told us about your amazing foundation, so that's obviously a big way that we can support you moving forward. But any other way that the listeners can support you in the way that fulfills what you think is best for you and for Ukraine and for your people?
Yeah, so starting from the t-shirt, this is the guy, and this is, you can see kind of Ukrainian flag, the field and the sky. And I'm gonna come closer to you. So this is the Russian ship, this is the Ukrainian soldier, this is the field, and this is kind of blue sky. So when Russia did attack one of our parts, it's the, you can see the sea. It was the little island, and they were attacking that from this ship, big, very, very powerful ship. They were attacking Ukrainian soldiers. It was a little troop of Ukrainian soldiers, and they wanted to hit them with the bomb, or I don't know with some horrible thing. And Russian troops said to Ukrainians like, okay guys, give up or we'll kill you. And our Ukrainian soldiers said, Russian ship, go fuck yourself. And they started to shoot. It was a kind of big fight and everything, but our guys survived. And right now, it became the very, very famous phrase. So, "Русский корабль иди нахуй." We even, it's a bad word, yeah. So go fuck yourself. But in Ukraine right now, it's not anymore bad words. It's like historical phrases, you know. So yeah, I'm against bad words and everything, but this, it's
Mm,
not about that. It's
mm,
about making a history, making a new country, you know.
yeah.
So thanks God, Ukrainian soldiers are alive, and these marks, we have these marks. They were selling in the stores on eBay for like $1,000. Well,
Wow.
so
Wow.
yes, and for your second question, how people can support me. So a lot of people don't understand a lot of things. For example, I was just talking, just making a post about um, uh, people see that the world supporting Ukraine, the world making giving money to Ukraine, but the war is extremely expensive, and everything what America gives, what Canada, Europe, wherever, Poland, when they give this money, they give it for a big weapon, for some things like basic global things. But there are such a little things which not government, not any the nations can cover. For example, when guys having a fight, something, some, I don't know, rocket is getting to the place where soldiers are locating. There is a lot of stuffs, vehicles, guns, technical things, even usual clothing or something. When the rockets get there, explosion, this is it, everything is burned. Not American, not European money, not gonna cover that. Not Ukrainian government, not gonna cover that, because we don't have enough responsibilities for that. Nobody could imagine that the war would be so big So even Ukrainian government do really good job. They trying to support everybody, but we don't have so much possibilities, especially right now when our factories and fabrics are getting bombed by Russian army. We cannot even make it, you know. So we bought everything. We are volunteers. We bought everything we have in Ukrainian market. We bought almost everything on European market. Can you imagine? European market is empty because we Ukrainians bought everything. We usual volunteers. Like if I would not spend all money which I spend on the soldiers, I could drive not a cross tour, but I could drive Panamera or something like that for sure. I could drive much higher level vehicle. It's like very expensive everything. So that's why there are still a lot of volunteers like myself, because we trying to help soldiers, like all the things which they're using every day. It's like, I don't know, it's like a usual things, like every day you using napkins, every day you using toilet paper, water or something. You need it more and more and more and more every day, because you just drink, squeeze the bottle, throw it away, you eat, and then you have to buy it again. Then you use napkins. Like how many napkins you can use per day? A lot. And you then need them more and more and more. You drink and you need more and more. Of course, it's the same with the technical things, with the night vision. I forget what's the name of that. This all technical systems, with the bulletproof jackets, with the helmets, with everything. Even, for example, the power bank to charge your phone. Every time when something in a fight goes wrong, you leave your vehicle, your tank, wherever, with all equipment there. So not the government, not American Lend Lease, nothing, not gonna cover that. Government is so trying too hard to get in to cover all these questions, but the front line is so big, very big. When it was just Donetsk, okay. When it's whole country, very difficult. So that's why I always collecting money, and I always buying something. And before that, I was doing by my personal money, because I had job. I did a lot of things. Now I don't have a job. I mean, I have, but it's not that much work as it was before. It's just for little things to eat and gas and electricity. That's it. So of course, what I would be appreciate is financial support. Or if you don't want make financial support, good, there is another choice. I'm telling that, for example, I need this stuff, and I'm sending the link what I need,
Okay.
and then we can buy from eBay.
Okay.
The person who wants to help can buy it from eBay or wherever, and just send it to me to give. That's it. It would be also perfect. So if anybody wants that, if it's possible, will post information about me and my pages,
Yes.
information, my website, everything. And that would be a good support for Ukraine and basically for the whole world, because altogether we will start to build a better world to live. Let's Ukraine be the spot where a better place to live will be, grow bigger, and then we will make something new. We are in a new century. We're in a new world, and let's make it all together.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Nadia, for coming onto the podcast. Thank you so much for sharing your bravery, your courage. You're so amazing. I'm so inspired by you. I'm so honored by you. Every thing that you are doing for Ukraine, for your country, for your family, for yourself. I love Ukraine. I'm heartbroken for Ukraine, and I will not look away from Ukraine. And I will continue also to give updates and to do interviews, because I don't want the world to think that the world is just moving on because the war is still happening in Ukraine. Ukraine is very much still in the middle of something that they do not deserve. And we need to keep attention on Ukraine, on the plight of the people, so that we can fix the situation, so that we can change the situation, so that we can heal it. And like you said, we are one world and we're all connected, and the world is very small. And what happens somewhere will eventually come to your door. So for me, I've been fortunate to live all over the world, and I know how connected the world really is. And I think that it's always very important to remember we're global citizens. We are one world, and our lives, our happiness, and our sadness and our sorrow affects one another as it should. So we're here to be here for each other, and I hope that you felt respected through this, Nadya. And again, thank you for your time. I know that you're very busy and that you're doing so much, and so I appreciate you taking out an hour of your time to speak with me. And I'm sending you so much love for you and your family, your colleagues, all of your friends, everyone on the front line, and obviously in Kyiv. And I hope that you continue to stay safe, and we'll stay in contact. And please do send me those links. And I just want to close out the podcast by saying the Live Like an Acrobat podcast is also available on Circus Talk, the inclusive, independent, and international online network for the circus industry. Circus Talk's mission is to create a level playing field for this industry and democratize access to information. Until next time, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe and please stay healthy.